Before we begin this episode of Fine Time, we'd like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to Grand Theft Auto 6 for finally proposing to Rockstar Games. It takes a lot of commitment and a giving heart to take a relationship like that to the next level, and we wish them both the best of luck.
Let's give it up for Rockstar Games, everybody. Everyone clap. Wow.
Aww.
Hello, party people. It's your boy Dre. Oh boy, fall is here overnight. I don't know where everybody else lives, but here, oh boy, we just decided it's time. Someone flipped the fall switch. Is it fall up there, Steve?
Technically, we're almost.
Almost, Kevin. It's already snowing, right? Surely,
Definitely fall. It was very chilly this morning.
Yeah. Froze them tits off. Okay, guys. We got one thing we want to talk about. Men only want one thing. Men only think about one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. It is Splatoon 3.
Gross.
Why talk? Yeah, just gross, man. All that shooting, splat that ink.
Your ink wherever you go, wherever it flies.
Whoa,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My grandma listens to this show.
Well, first of all, she's a badass. Thank you, Kevin's grandma. Secondly, if you played Splatoon 2, if you remember Mayo versus Ketchup, that looked a certain way. So that's all I got to say about that. I picked Ketchup. That was the lesser of the two evils, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Splatoon 3. Here it is. Usually we go around the horn. Oh, I've been playing this or that. All of us have just been playing this. So we just decided we're going to make this first part all Splatoon 3. All the time for the people, because this is a Nintendo bias show. So I guess I just kind of want to start with some general stuff like, God damn, it's good to be back, huh? Man, after like 5 years ago, Splatoon 2, yeah, we had Splatfest for a couple years. Even some ones they added during the Rona, they were mostly repeats. But I remember they did that Mario one, right? Which was weird. Especially since they announced it like 4 months out. It's like in January, we're going to do like a mushroom. You remember that shit?
They sold t-shirts.
And Steve, do you remember we won an 100x battle? Do you remember that shit?
Oh, shit, we did.
Because the whole time with Splatoon 2, whenever they added those, I'm like, I never win any of these. And apparently you hadn't either.
It was Destiny.
Yeah, the very last Splatfest, we had to. Anyway, yeah, man, it's interesting with Nintendo iterative sequels, right? Because it's like you always get that I've arrived home, whether it's Animal Crossing or Smash or anything that doesn't change too much. It feels great, in my opinion. You get that like I'm here. Kevin, you didn't you were like not really super excited for this on the run up here all summer.
Until the direct, I was still a little bit, it's too soon. They don't need another one on the Switch. You know what? I didn't do Splatoon 1 in its heyday. I played a couple times. I didn't have it until after Splatoon 2 came out. So I was surprised when 3 came out how much of an identity it has on its own and that it stands on its own. It doesn't just feel like a fresh coat of paint. So yeah, I don't know why I was so hesitant about that, because now that I'm in, I'm fully in. And I think the community is such a core aspect that even if they did come back and they said, we're going to reinvigorate 2 and we're going to do Splatfest again, it would never be the same. The vibe of the community that does a lot for the experience in itself. So yeah, I'm digging it.
The ease of just playing the game now versus I used to turn on Splatoon 2 and then go take a shit or something and come back because it just used to take so long to load through everything and to get anywhere you wanted to go. Like, loading times are a snap here. I mean, look, we're spoiled by like PS5 and stuff nowadays, but like, even so, it's so snappy, it's so breezy. You can like swap between any of the shops like that. You can go in and out of the lobby. It takes like a few seconds to load, whereas before it just felt like it took an eternity, especially if you went back to the 30 frames per second hell of like the city, which is still here. Like it's so much snappier now. I felt that immediately. I felt that even in the Splatfest premiere. But I love the loop, I guess, of the game, which Splatoon 2 didn't really have. You just sort of get on and like whatever and play. This has like, daily win of the day, especially since you have that seasonal catalog that really bumps that shit up. Even if you just get like a win a day, you're like well on your way to completing that thing. The gacha machine, brilliant. Buy one for cheap once per day, and then the rest costs you through the nose. Great. I really like the mechanic of going to the shops every day and like upgrading the clothes that you already have. Like if you already have what's on sale, you can like upgrade it for a certain price. I mean, it's not cheap, but that gets you to check the shops every day. Because like before in Splatoon 2, I would just go to Splatnet. I think Steve was probably the same way.
Well, I'm still using Splatnet, but I'm going through my cache a lot faster because I'm upgrading my clothes.
It doesn't feel like the cache. I don't know, because like maybe it's because the weapons before used to cost cash, and now you just get the tickets when you level up. Maybe because they don't cost money anymore. Like all the other stuff seems like jacked. I seem to run out of money a lot, whereas like money was no object in like Splatoon 2.
That kind of makes sense in a way, though, because I feel like before the weapons would have been the primary money pit, would they have not?
I think so. And they were not cheap either, so you kind of had to be a little more choosy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they weren't 20,000 Splatoon dollars each.
No, but like now you can go into the general store and buy like, here's a poster for your locker. It costs 32,000 Splatoon dollars. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's just a poster. It just looks like fake Colorado. Why is this 32K? You know?
It's a status symbol.
Okay.
Well, that kid running the store is clearly stoned. I think she's just taking. She's got that label. She's got that label maker from the '90s, and she's just sticking random numbers on shit that she's selling.
Yeah, she has a random number generator between 1 and 50,000, so you just sticks random prices on the store. Yeah. But yeah, like she is very stoned. I mean, like I know Nintendo will say that's not what they intended, but she's wasted.
Okay, you level up, and she's handing you shoes and money pit and small sacks of money, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, she's
something's wrong.
What's the equivalent in the Splatoon world of like drugs? Would it be like I don't know, ink, like black ink from
I don't know, but when you go over to a sewer grate and some guy's like sticking his head up through the top, that's where the drugs come from. I know that.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's so many back alleys in those cities, and walking through here. Do you like how the table turf area is like you have to go down the alley and around the corner and like into this like other, it's like it's very
the sketchy part of town.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like an officially sanctioned tabletop league at all, guys.
Yeah. Speaking of out of the way, I really like the locker stuff because I like decorating stuff, and it's clear they use their New Horizons acumen to like to do that. However, it doesn't manifest itself in the game proper, so it's just very easy to forget it's there. If you don't go in that room, you'll never see them.
Well, and not only that, like you can't see through those windows until the first time you do go into that room. It took me like 4 or 5 days to even realize where that room was, because all of the windows are just like blacked out until you go over there. Yes. So you don't even know you're supposed to go in there.
They don't tell you about it either. So it's just kind of like, okay, if I didn't watch a direct and see the lockers, I wouldn't even have known they existed. I would have just went in there. It's like, what? I could maybe go in here. I would have had the same experience you did. Steve, what's your locker look like?
It looks like I have a set of dualies and a zapper I threw in there.
That's the thing also. It does like there's no way to like cleanly look at your friends' lockers either. You just seem to get random people's lockers. I've occasionally come across a friend, just like you can occasionally come across a friend in the city, but It's not the same. I don't know. I feel like that was implemented very strangely.
I don't know. Maybe there was more incentive other than, oh, look, here's my guns.
Yeah,
maybe that's the large scale paid DLC.
You have to it's like Happy Home Designer, but lockers. Like you have to
Oh, God, no.
But no, their Animal Crossing New Horizons acumen is well on display there. It's just I don't understand how it incorporates in the main game. I wasn't really sold on Deep Cut at first. Our new 3 MCs. Everyone likes Big Man right off the bat. By the way, you like Big Man's air horns whenever he gets excited? That shit's really funny. Hey, they're really funny. Am I the only one who likes that?
I like that.
Yeah, they're great. Usually whenever he raises his quote unquote arms, fins, I guess, in happiness, I wasn't really sold on them at first because, of course, I'm comparing to Pearl and Marina. I said it last time. Splatoon 2 with its music and those 2 characters and stuff, that shit was perfect to me. There was nothing that was going to top that for me, so fine. But I'm warming up to Deep Cut here, especially after you play single player. You get a little more appreciation for who they are. Steve, a Deep Cut, are you a Deep Cut aficionado? In fact, is that your custom title on your Splat tag, Big Man fan?
Yeah, I like Big Man a lot, but Shiver and Fry, I'm not so sure what's up with them. I think I need to spend more time with them. I get, even though I'm more or less done with the single player campaign, like really, really close to being done with that one.
By the way, with what I was saying about the custom titles, that is also just directly lifted from New Horizons. They didn't waste any time. They knew exactly what they were taking from their previous development and just putting it in this thing, which is great, honestly. Okay, we love the game, obviously, but sometimes. Well, I'll just tell you when the game first went live at 9 p.m. Pacific. You have to play one match with your name as player to be able to change your name. You guys remember this? If you logged on right away, you're playing against 7 other people named player, which is funny. You can never have that experience again. It was really good. But when I was trying to queue for that first match, a communication error has occurred. I got disconnected before I could even play my first match. This has been a running theme throughout the whole fucking last 2 weeks, guys. Jesus Christ. The communication errors here are rampant. I don't understand. Like, at least 5 years ago, we weren't paying for Nintendo Switch Online. Now we are.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, Nintendo. Like,
well,
look, this doesn't happen anywhere else. Like, it doesn't happen if I play Overwatch or... I mean, look, you can get disconnected from the internet, obviously, but no other game I play does this, Kevin.
And this, I'm sure there's no denying that this is built on the bones of Splatoon 2's online infrastructure, which was relatively stable after not that long. So I can't wrap my head around what went wrong here. It's baffling.
I don't understand. Steve, you've been getting disconnected a lot because I tell you what.
I didn't lose my first match disconnecting somehow, but I've heard your other story of where you were sitting with friend of the show Vin, and it somehow timed out at 9.99 or whatever.
It kept going. We didn't time out. We had to turn off the game because God forbid the game lets you quit queue, because you can't do that either. So, like, you have to just literally turn off the game.
I do think in the last patch they directly addressed that in the notes, at least.
Oh, thank God.
I had one night in particular where I was trying to do salmon run because I needed some cash quick, and it was just loading and load until it decided not to, and then it kicked me back into the salmon run lobby, and it just kept doing that 2 or 3 times.
I feel it really bothers me too if you get into a match and you get booted because somebody else quote unquote disconnected. Give me like 200 fucking points just so I don't feel so angry about it, or like something sorry, a little kiss on the cheek or something.
Yeah, you should get something if that does happen. I do like that they do that because it sucks to play 4-on-3 for like an entire match. I do like that they do that. You should get something for your time though. I do agree. Do any of you guys use motion controls? No, this is not specific to Splatoon 3. I just thought I'd throw it out there because, like, Steve, do you do the gyro?
I do.
You do? Oh, man.
I do. I mean,
What?
I crank the sensitivity way down, but yes, I do. I like it.
Kevin?
I do not, but I would if, like some other games, if I could still control the look with the right stick and just kind of like fine tune it with motion controls, because I do really like that. It's intuitive, but just to strictly use motion control for that, I'm usually laying back on the love seat like a fat slob in my, my tummy hanging out over the side of the couch. I don't have the mobility in that position to do motion controls. So,
yeah. With one hand in my crotch like Al Bundy, I can't really, I mean, the motion control doesn't really work for me. I just can't. So let's talk music, because the music, like quest, if you will, the MO of Splatoon, like even from the first game, for me, has always seemed, Kevin, to like sort of re-examine 1990s alternative in this really wacky way. Would you agree with that like base statement? Or like
I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if I would have drawn the line myself.
Yeah, it's but not like the grunge stuff necessarily, obviously. I think there's a little bit of that, but you know what I mean, like the weirder stuff. And sort of amping that up to a high degree. And
this is early 90s Janet Jackson.
No, not quite that. Although I mean, like, I wouldn't mind that either. But you think they sort of would have already accomplished that the last couple times, but Splatoon 3 finds yet another angle. It feels fresh. It's very familiar. This is obviously Splatoon music, but it does feel fresh. But they don't hit the same as Splatoon 2. I remember Splatoon 2's music like right after. I can remember, like, especially that original suite of BGM, whatever those 6 or 7 songs or whatever, from like the before they patched in more. I hear those, and especially during Splatfest, all the Off the Hook songs. Holy shit, I remember those like the back of my hand. These I'll probably never remember outside of the game. Outside of the one I called Avril Lavigne, I don't think I'll.
You need to reenact that for everyone, please.
I need the music though behind me, and if I play that, we're gonna get in a lot of trouble. So I don't want to do it a cappella.
Fine, I'll do it for you.
Avril Lavigne.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Every single time.
Yeah, you got to do it. It's tradition. Once I hear that opening riff, it's like, oh, it's Avril Lavigne time. But even that song, I don't feel like, I don't know, I'd put any of the other Splatoon 2 songs before it, and I don't think I'm being like super biased here because I'm like more used to those or whatever. Those hit right off the bat for me, especially the Off the Hook music. Like Pearl Marina's songs are just woo. The deep cut stuff is fine, and the general BGM in Splatoon 3 is fine, and it, like I said, it goes through that like re-examining like 90s or even 2000s alternative, like in a really fun way, Kevin. But is that true for you? They just don't hit the same? Hits different?
Yeah, I think, and I can't put my finger on why. I think I liked the music on Splatoon better as well. Maybe it feels a little bit more generic here. Is that fair to say?
It does. But not in a bad way. Like, I actually really like all this music. There's nothing here that's annoying or it's like I hate this song or anything like that. It just doesn't get there for me.
I do, before we move on from music as well, want to touch on the positive music coming up when your team loses. There's something, as soon as that happened, it was off-putting, and every single time I've lost since then, I always notice that. I want them to degrade me and like stick my face in the mud a little bit when it happens. I don't want to feel happy for the fucking asshole other team.
Kevin, I agree. Sometimes I'm picking up my phone looking at make sure I'm not missing a message or something. And, sometimes I need that negative music to tell me, oh, I lost. I better do the thing.
Don't forget, you're a piece of shit.
Okay. I've sort of have been defending this because they have the emotes when you win, right? They show you like doing a certain animation. There's no point in having those. Like, they're showing the winning team doing that. So if you lost, they got to show the winning team doing their emotes. Therefore, you can't play the usual wah 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 while they're like doing happy emotes.
But you can. That would rub it in even more. Like, you're sad, the other team's fucking stoked, and you suck.
So what? They should show like sepia toned, like sad, like flashback. They're doing happy stuff while you're just like sad. Like
it was good for It was good enough for Splatoon 1 and 2.
Yeah, but they showed your team in Splatoon 2 like, oh no, we lost, or just like putting your head on your you know what I mean? Your hands like, oh, we fucked up. That made more sense. I don't know. I don't mind it as much. I know you're not the only people to say that, but for me, it's not really a big deal, I guess. However, before we move on from music completely, I do want to say, as much as, the turf war and, anarchy modes BGM is whatever to me, the single player music, holy shit, that shit is bumping. Yo, those tunes are incredible, Steve.
There's that one song that comes on when they make you play a whole level with a special, and it makes you feel like a badass the whole time.
There's this one, I swear to God, they're like doing like it's supposed to be Big Man singing or something. Like there's a few of them where it's like there's some weird opera voices or something, like weirdly sampled. No, don't sing that, okay? You can't sing that. Nintendo's gonna find us. Yes, there's that one, and then there's one.
That's why I'm intentionally singing it badly, so they can't possibly say it.
There's that one that has like I don't want to call it hip hop, but it's like where it sounds like Big Man is going beep boom beep boom beep beep boom beep 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 or something like that. I don't know. It's like it's very it sounds like a Fat Boys rendition. If a Manta Ray could beatbox, that's what it would be. But speaking of single player, okay, obviously I didn't have a Wii U. I didn't play the first Splatoon that much, just here and there at people's houses, whatever. But like everyone told me how good the single player was in Splatoon. So I was kind of looking forward to it when Splatoon 2 came out. And I'm like, this is just okay. In fact, it's kind of subpar. I don't know why people like this so much. I was like, this is fine, but it's just a glorified tutorial for 6 hours. That's not really that fun. Splatoon 3's is excellent. The levels are fast and short and snappy, just like they were in Splatoon 2, but they don't feel nearly as tutorial-y. Yes, that's what they're trying to do to you, but like, I hate things that are over-tutorialized, and like the other game was just one long tutorial. That's not very fun. So like, this is excellent. Also, like, you get to find out, like, I'm not going to spoil, obviously, you get to find out like what happened to the Earth. Why there's like just squids and noctilings and stuff. Why there's just marine life. I didn't know I wanted that from Splatoon, but I'm glad I got it. That shit was actually really interesting. So play single player. If you've played other Splatoon games and you're like, that was just whatever, play this one. You've got to play this one.
I don't know that I can get behind this hard. No, I haven't finished it. I just started on the fourth island. I don't dislike it, but it doesn't feel like when we talk about it being a quote unquote campaign. Certainly, if you're not interested in the multiplayer, do not pick this game up for the single player. I don't think, because it has a strong sense of, you're here to do this mechanic and that's it. There's not really any like getting invested in it beyond like the flavor of the day mechanic for that level. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but it doesn't feel like a solid campaign experience to me yet.
They are gimmick levels. There's no doubt, but it makes sense because of the multiplayer. Of course, if you're not going to play that stuff, no, I wouldn't say just buy it for this, although it comes close. I did really like it that much. But no, I can't say spend $60 to just play this. No, I wouldn't say that. What I would say, though, is I feel like this might sound kind of sacrilege. This almost has like a Mario Odyssey quality of like, like the bonus levels. That's what they feel like to me. the music is that good too. Like those levels are like gimmicky and you just do a couple things in it and leave. That's what they kind of feel like to me. They feel like quick hits of those. I don't know if anybody on this team worked on also Mario Odyssey. We know it's, the people who make Animal Crossing, but like I definitely felt that while playing it.
Well, this is where I have to rain on your parade a little bit and bring up that this is how the Octo expansion worked, but they made it the whole damn single player campaign. They gave you these levels. They gave you a little booth in the beginning of each level. You picked a thing, and then you had to do the whole level based on the gimmick. And even things like make the boxes match and play this whole level without a special or with just your bombs. It was a whole thing they took right from the Octopath thing. And I'm glad they stole it from that because, Andre, I have no idea who told you the Splatoon campaigns were super great at all, because as fun as I did have fun finding out about different background stories they felt like telling at the time, like when they tried telling us the Wii U destroyed civilization in the first game or whatever that was. I'm not seeing that there's this whatever great single player game they told you about.
I don't know if people said it was like great, but they definitely said it was so good, I will say. I wouldn't say they thought it was like some, top shelf experience.
But I don't know. This was good. I always feel like, well, I had this other conversation the other day because someone, I don't know if they were being sincere, if they were just being a smartass. Splatoon 1's going to be locked in the Wii U. I'm like, yeah, Splatoon is locked into the era in which it was made. Each of these games are, and we can't go back to them. That's the point. Everything is where it is.
Nor would we want to. Well, we have an expectation now of like things being on everything for some fucking reason, which I don't know.
Locked in until it's on the Wii U Nintendo Super Switch 3 online application.
Oh my god.
There's no reason to go backwards to Splatoon 1 because that stuff happened already. Time has marched since then.
You know what I can't get over when I look at the original? The ink looks like crap compared to like Splatoon 2 and 3. It just literally looks like someone put a flat, like, colored texture on the floor. It doesn't really look like voluminous ink that's splattered everywhere. Anyway, I don't know if it's like a bump map or something. It doesn't look as good. Real quick, weapons, favorites, returning classics. Anybody, Steve? What you been using?
Oh, I like to venture all over the place with the weapons, except the chargers. Fuck the chargers, but I like my .96, even though it's only got a vacuum on it right now. It's handy for tower control. And,
I think you should call it by its proper name of 96 Gal.
Yes, the .96 Gal.
I don't like to say the point. I think we should just say 96 Gal and 52 Gal.
Well, I'm not saying it again, so that's the weapon I use.
Wow.
96 gallons is unreasonable.
The gallons is fine.
I vote point.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I like to,
but that's what the gal is implying is gallons.
I understand. But it's like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I like my umbrella and dually weapons too. That's all.
You were the only man I know who likes to use the umbrella.
It's fun.
I mean, it's fun, but I'm terrible with it. It is fun, though.
It's got a shield, and it pops off, or except for the one that doesn't.
Yeah, except for the one that doesn't. I don't know. You know what? Actually, coming back to, I'm sorry, one about gal. It's like gallons. It's weird if you say gallons because it's like when you spell like Dr. Pepper. If you were to spell like DOCTOR pepper, that would be like really strange, right? That's how you feel about the gallon.
I agree. I'm just saying you can't. You're not implying that this gun has 96 gallons of ink in it. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You need to be realistic in this game about kids that turn into squids and shoot ink all over the place.
When they're a squid now,
are
and a
they
kid
kids
now.
or are they squids? I don't fucking know after 7 years of this shit.
I thought you were going to launch into like one of their makeshift see you later from the Squid Research Laboratory or something like that. I can't figure it out.
Stay fresh, you fuckers.
Stay fresh, fuckers. I've been fucking with the 52 Gal. I am now a 52 gal truther. You've heard me say earlier that I'm a roller and it's the only thing I'm good with. That is not true anymore. I've been using the Splattershot Pro. I've been using the Clash Blaster. I wish it were called the Cash Blaster because that's a lot more fun to say, even though it doesn't make any sense. It's not blasting cash. But I'm just going to call it the Cash Blaster. Whatever. Sploosh-o-matic. I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a roller at heart still, but I'm finally branching out. It only took me 5 years to branch out, Kevin. What you been using?
I'm still all about that arrow spray, same as two. Just especially for regular battle, it has so much coverage, and regular battle isn't about kill death ratio or how many kills you got. It's about covering the map in ink, and that's why I feel like the arrow spray is the go-to. You did turn me on to the 52 gal, and I tried it out, and that is a good weapon for sure. I like that much better than a lot of other things that I've tried, but that arrow spray, that's the shit.
I think you just like being an asshole with the reef slider. Because
I do love being an asshole with the reef slider. That's
that
fine.
thing. I'm sorry. Something's gotta happen with that reef slider. I think that is just unmanageable.
Leave it.
Oh yeah, I bet you would say that, you incorrigible fuck. Look,
the odd time you can take out 3 people with that thing.
I love shooting small children with the arrow spray and then knocking out the last small child with the reef slider.
Who doesn't?
Usually when I don't have the reef slider,
I'm 33 years old.
The small children are killing me. To be fair,
it's just so like. Okay, first of all, the radius, like you don't have to be near the center to die in that thing. In fact, you don't have to be in the radius at all. There's been plenty of times where it actually shows the radius, but it lies to you. You cannot be there and you'll get splatted instantly. The damage.
I can't believe we're doing
incredible.
a fucking podcast about video games and one of the funnest things ever, riding a shark torpedo and blowing it up, and you're complaining about it.
It's fun.
It's
that
fun,
shit needs to be
damn
nerfed. You can't even shoot them out of it. It's ridiculous.
Okay, can we talk about a really fun one though, which is the refreshers where you pop out the cooler and you get to share a soda with everyone.
The Tentacooler, right? I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god! Okay, thanks. Can you give me a rendition of the jingle? Can you do the jingle?
Dun, 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 dun.
I feel like you petered out at the end.
It kind of does while you're getting splatted at.
I want to try to get good with the bow. I really want to. I know I'm never going to. I love using the tri-stringer. I am so bad with it. I am such a liability when I pick it. It's kind of like a thing in Overwatch. Like whenever I pick McCree, or now Cassidy, I should say, I always say, y'all want to lose to my team? It's like, okay, fine, pick Cassidy. And I do. Because I love using him, but I'm bad with him. That's how I feel about the tri-stringer. But I don't know. Maybe with some practice, I could be. A lot of practice.
Everything Andre just said, except for the Overwatch references, but with the Splatana, because I love the idea of it, but I'm getting a little better with it, but I don't know. Maybe I just need the one with the right side and special.
You seem to be using the one with the teeth. That didn't work out for you?
I like that one a little better.
Kevin, is there a weapon you really like want to get good with?
Something new that I really like? Yeah, the reef slider. I like it.
Oh my god. You're such a fuck.
I just want Sheldon to hand me a shark rocket. I can use
the bows and the wiper. I think the bow would maybe be more appealing for the anarchy mode. The wiper overall seems very, very underpowered. It seems like a very much a jack of all trades, master of none, unless there's some variant of it that really jacks up the ink coverage. I don't know. It felt weak when I tried it.
That's how I felt too, but I guess maybe we'll see. I don't know, maybe along the line they'll introduce a type of wiper or something that will be more palatable. But yeah, I want to talk about the stages real quick, because right now in the game, to start with, there's 8 new ones and 4 from Splatoon 2. Some would say things like, I don't know, Mahi Mahi Resort or Museum del... I always say Alfonso, but that's not enough syllables. Del Alfonso, I don't know. Are from the original Splatoon, but they're not anything like those. Also, like Hammerhead Bridge. So, like, I kind of consider them new stages. We could say they're from the original, but they're not really. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Steve, you were telling me you weren't necessarily impressed?
Guys, there's a very real chance that I'm dead inside. I'll admit that. I'm 35. I'm getting older. It might be time to drag me out back to the nice farm upstate and just put me down already. But I can't name any of the new stages. Can you? Without looking at the notes?
Wow. I mean, Jesus Christ. I would never do that to you. Now fine. Look, okay. I am staring straight ahead into this thing. Why do I have to know? You know what? Fuck you. I'm not going to play by your rules. Why do I have to know the names of the stages? Why can't they just be, the ones with the ramps? Or here's the one that's big and open and then has like the things in the middle. No, I don't have to know. I don't have to know the names of the stages.
Okay. It was more of that point that you can name the features is already, I guess you can. And I am dead inside after all.
No, but like for real, like, I mean, that's that one we played on last week that we both really like. It's big and open. I think it's Undertow Spillway, Kevin. I think we were both saying that's like their favorite because we're both humpback pump track aficionados from 2. That's both of our favorite, and that gave me that kind of vibe a little bit. There's Eel Tail Alley. Sorry, I looked at the fucking notes, Steve. And then there's a lot here.
Let's just miss the greater point of what Steve was trying to say.
I just want to make you out to be.
I like how this is a real personal attack on Andre. I just sat in silence, not admitting it. What courses I can and can't name.
I mean, I gotta know them all by like shit. If I went back to like Splatoon 2, I mean, like I couldn't name like half of them. They're wacky names. Wahoo World. No, wait, that's in this game too. Okay, I think these stages are really good.
You know what? You gave me shit for not being able to name the tentacooler. So
not like this.
That is a fair point.
No, it's not a fair point at all.
No, I think you took it worse than he made it.
Oh my god!
I think it's a fair point.
This is ridiculous. Everyone is going to hear the truth when they hear this podcast. They are going to hear how both of you made me into you're just bullying me right now. It's ridiculous. No, but like I said during Splatfest premiere, I got like Mahi Mahi Resort, which is remade from the first game, and Scorch Gorge. I thought both of those were whatever. I don't really care for those a whole lot. They're not terrible, but they're also not like but it's very rare they make a bad course.
Yeah, I always gravitate towards the ones with unique mechanics. Wahoo World's got the big spinning center that almost feels like a little bit of a wild card at the end of the match.
Love it.
And then Mahi Mahi Resort's got the raising platform, and I really like that because then again, halfway through the match, then all of a sudden there's just all of this new fresh uninked area, and it seems like it just kind of like changes up the gameplay a little bit for those courses. I am not a Hammerhead Bridge fan. It just seems like it's so long and skinny, and if one team can, whether they're a better team or not, I still feel like some teams just find themselves in a dominating position by like getting in and getting a chokehold right by the spawn, and there's no way to sneak around and start heavily inking. So once all 4 of them get up there, I don't know, it just feels a little gimmicky to me, that one.
I kind of hard disagree here. This is one of my favorite stages, and I do like the long skinny stages. There's one from Splatoon 2 I cannot remember the name of. I always think it's Sturgeon Shipyard, but it is not that, because that's in this game and that's not it. I like this because like Moray Towers is another good one like this. I feel like because it's narrow, you can just kill them. If they try to get up there, it's a lot less domineering because they have to be grouped up. In a bigger stage where they're trying to trap you in, there's a lot more place to get around, or they can't, you know what I mean? I understand what you're saying to a degree, but like, I don't
think you can't compare sweet Moray Towers to that course.
This is way better than Moray Towers. I mean, I'll just do that.
Fuck yourself.
Steve, break the tie. Moray Towers or Hammerhead Bridge?
Everyone's a winner. Yay!
Oh my god, I hate you so much. I hate you.
You need to commit, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve flips a coin. Hey, Google, flip a coin.
Oh my God, you're the worst.
He knows it's Moray Towers, but you keep victimizing yourself tonight, and he doesn't want to make that any worse. So
okay. Anarchy battles, same old shit. I don't think there's really a whole lot to say here. Same thing, splat zones.
It's not entirely. Well, it's all the same old shit until you get into how they split them apart into, oh, you want to play as a series or you want to just play them one by one? Well, and then how do you get points? You win, okay, but does it matter if we dominate or just tie edge out and tie? I feel like I just get points for winning or points for losing, and I'm a bit concerned that we were not getting any new modes in this game.
I mean, look, we have these to start. You never know, but like for me, I don't know. These modes are exactly what they are described. Anarchy. They're like a good little diversion sometimes from Turf War, but honestly, like they feel really messy and just not like they are anarchy. They are exactly what they're described as, and it's not necessarily what I want to do most of the time. So they're fine for a little bit. I kind of like Splat Zone sometimes, but that's really I'm going to be very hard pressed to ever play like Clan Blitz or something like that. We got to talk about the sales numbers in Japan real quick because Nintendo actually made a press release to tell us these, and they're astounding. So I want to talk about them between digital and physical because Nintendo always counts both. Over that first weekend, so the first 3 days in Japan, Splatoon 3 sold 3.45 million. Let's just call it 3.5 million units in Japan alone. This is a record for a 3-day total in Japan. To put this in perspective, Animal Crossing New Horizons, that's 1.8 million. So that in 3 days. So that obliterated that. And that was at the beginning of the pandemic. Pokemon Sword and Shield was 1.3. Smash Ultimate's 1.2 in Japan alone. So like this is double that. This is crazy. Yes, there's a lot more Switches available on the market now. So I'm not going to, I mean, like, yeah, the original Splatoon 2 sold like, 640K or whatever in Japan its first 3 days. Obviously, we can't compare because the system was only out for a few months. But like, this is such a wild number, guys. So this was worthy of a press release. I guess I don't really have an overarching talking point here, but did this hit you, Steve? Like it hit me. Like this was crazy.
I figured it was going to be a big number, but not that big that soon. No.
I can't wait for the next Nintendo Financial, Kevin. It's going to be a massive number.
Now, comparing this to New Horizons is what's the most interesting. Do we know, does that 1.8 million, does that account for digital sales on New Horizons as well?
Yes, Nintendo always includes digital and physical in all their numbers. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do we, does anybody want to take any guesses at where this is going to land, in 6 months, like kind of total sales?
Ooh, you might have to make a place your bets for that, huh? I
can't give any reason that it would have like so quickly outpaced New Horizons and wouldn't outsell it, other than New Horizons kind of turned into like a COVID phenomenon. But I don't think it's going to sell as much as New Horizons when everything's is said and done and the dust settles.
I suppose not, because it doesn't have that wide of an appeal. Like everybody wants to play Animal Crossing, you know what I mean? Like that's something that appeals to literally like your grandma, you know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting how long of a tail this game has, because I'll tell you what, I didn't expect Splatoon 2 to get to like 12 million or whatever it got. You know what I mean? It just kept selling and selling. So who knows? We did a lot of talking over the summer about like, is it too soon for a sequel? Will it be the same fervor? And obviously all of us are wrong. You know what I mean? To some of us to larger degrees than others. I'm not going to name names, but I think when I see these numbers, I think we just underestimated Splatoon's relationship to Japan, right? This was clearly for them first. If we think about it that way, like 5 years seems like an eternity. If you think about it that way, it's like, it's almost like Mario Party at the height of that, when like one was coming out every year and a half, or even sometimes every year. And it's like, do we really need one of these every year? And the answer was yes. Because like they just kept selling you new boards, new whatever, right? New gimmicks, you can just keep doing that forever. Now, I'm not saying we need to have a new Splatoon every year and a half, but I feel like we're not gonna have to wait 5 years for Splatoon 4 on Switch 2 or something like that. That's my personal feeling.
I really hope that we only get one Splatoon 2 next console cycle, and I certainly don't say this out of any animosity towards Splatoon. I feel like if it gets too often, it's not going to make it special anymore. And even the comparison to Mario Party, I mean, you do Mario Party year after year after year, you can make those games like very, very different because the mini games are going to be completely different. Splatoon is always only going to have um so much ability to kind of reinvent itself and make itself fresh. So I don't know. I feel like if this turns into a consistent 2 or more game release per cycle, it's going to take away some of that luster.
I share some of Kevin's fears about the the franchise's ability to stay fresh, as it were. But we're gonna have Splatfests and weapon upgrades for the next year, and then what? Splatoon 4 comes out, and I hate to say this, but as much fun as I'm having, but this already feels like what you would have called a level pack sequel in the 90s. And I fear that a Splatoon 4, if it continues on this track, would be more so. They'll come up with another campaign, and then what? A handful more levels, and then more of the same for your $60. I mean, I will be here, but will it have that 3.5 million in 2 days in Japan numbers momentum? I don't know.
I know it's always a standard, but look at any other. I mean, obviously this isn't an annual franchise, but you'd think oh man, we're on Assassin's Creed 17. How many more can people buy? People will do it, right? People will still buy
some
COD.
people, but people make fun of it, and it's not special.
No, it's not special. But I don't think Nintendo doesn't do stuff if they don't feel it's special, even no matter how iterative they get.
Mm. And to be clear, I'm the guy that's going to be sitting there. Oh boy, Splatoon 4, no matter what it is.
I just want to, before we take a break, I just want to talk about real quick about the art posts in the plaza. Everyone knows how wild these get. It's funny. I remember even in 2018, maybe a year after the game came out, when remember Steve, when the furries took over the Splatoon 2 fall, and everyone was like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, you know what, man? This is great. These kids are expressing themselves. And honestly, in all seriousness, I think it is fantastic. People are just going on there and saying, what's up, lesbians? And Nintendo's just not doing anything. I mean, it's great. I really think that stuff is great. In total seriousness.
No, this is good, because Splatoon 1 was just SpongeBob Town, to the point where one of the Splatfests had to be SpongeBob versus Patrick.
Yeah.
After a while, they couldn't ignore it anymore. So, wow. I mean, this is much better.
Yeah, but no, I just, people are getting on there and expressing themselves. And I was kind of talking about this a little bit earlier today with someone saying oh man, anyone could go on Xbox Live. Some 15-year-old could call me the N-word or whatever. And it's people always rip on Nintendo for not having private messaging or, voice chat or whatever, all those things, because they keep everything super anonymous, super, separated like that. And it drives people crazy, but they don't want those kind of problems. They don't want Splatoon 3 to be the game where someone got called, the K word for Jews or something like that. You know what I mean? They don't want those kind of issues ever. So as opposed to Xbox Live, where it's just a complete wasteland where you could just be called, the F word gay slur every 2 seconds. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. So in that, I think it's great that I presume they're young people. I keep saying kids, but you know what I mean? I say that because I'm old, but these people coming on here in anonymity and just saying stuff the art posts you see, whether it's about being non-binary or their sexuality or whatever, and Nintendo's just completely hands off. I love it. I really do. I think that's really good. I didn't want to end this segment without saying that. Anyone got anything else to say about the Splatoonies before I play some music?
Real quick. So I've been coming up with a theory, and I want to get your guys' take on it. When we got together and played, I said it's super refreshing because at least the three of us, and I think usually that incentivizes the fourth player to sit back and ink home base before everybody runs into the middle. And most of the time when I play, the rest of the team just runs into the middle. Nobody gives a fuck about helping with inking home base. Now I think, and obviously this isn't a hard and fast rule, but the majority of the time when everybody just runs in the middle to fight, you're much more likely to lose that match. If everybody stays behind and inks home base and like kind of demonstrates that they understand the concept of the game, it's a much higher likelihood of winning that match. Is that?
Yes, you are correct, because here's the thing. If you are going to rush into the middle, if you're going to do that, you better splat them. You cannot run in there and die immediately, and I'm still inking the base, and you've already respawned twice and ran past me and still not helping me. If you think you're good enough to run in there and capture middle real fast, you better do it. That's the thing about it. Most of the people who do that aren't good enough to actually play that way.
And I think that's most of the people.
Yeah, that is most. Yeah. That's
not most of them are good enough. Most of them try.
Exactly. You better do it. You better succeed. That's what I have to say about that.
I like having a sprinkler, but that only gets me so far.
What?
The sprinkler, it does a piece for me, and then I can do other things.
I'm going to find out what the sprinkler is after this break. We are back in video game land. Actually, we never left video game land. We've been here the whole time. We were born in video game land.
Woo me.
That's what they said when
Video game land is supposed to be at the start of the show, and after the first break is when you tell everybody that we had sexual adventures in the shower while we were on break.
I usually do that.
Kind of breaking format here, and it's making me a little uncomfortable.
Sorry, sometimes I save the shower for the third. Sometimes I do that.
Usually second.
Okay.
For everyone at home, Kevin's sitting without a shirt, and he's waiting for that shower.
Okay. Since we're gonna take a shower later, then finally, we had a big old Nintendo Direct.
Fucking finally,
indeed. We had been taking not bets, but just like we know it's coming. And last time we talked about Jeff Grubb talking about what Zelda stuff may or may not be there. That stuff was not there, but we did get some Zelda, but we will not cover every single thing, obviously, because that's insane. We're just going to talk about the stuff that interests us. But obviously, right off the bat here, Steve got very interested.
How can I not be interested? Guys, there's another Fire Emblem game coming. Of course there is. Three Houses sold almost 4 million copies as of last year. Of course they're going to keep making Fire Emblem. Although this one was leaked as early as 2020. Remember back when we were in our houses or apartments and we were all starved for news? This was one of those weirder leaks that just sounded incredibly fake. Okay, guys, we're lending Fire Emblem to the Atelier people, and they're going to make a game where they call other Fire Emblem characters that with rings they found in a Cracker Jack box. And we're like, yeah, okay, this is fake as all hell. In retrospect, when you're actually watching the trailer, it was probably meant to coincide with the 30th anniversary, but then Three Houses probably did really good, so and this probably ran into trouble along the way, and it needs fine tuning, and it's coming out now. It's clearly on the done side at this point. It does seem a bit simpler than Three Houses, where you were able to fine tune your characters to however you wanted to do. So if you wanted your Beefcake Raphael to, know a little bit of magic, he could, but
you can't teach a beefcake magic. Everyone knows that.
Oh, with Three Houses, with enough edumacation, you can.
Oh, wow.
But I think it'll be a bit more normal Fire Emblem-y here, except for the part where Marth shows up. He's like, let's go to the future together. Wow. I don't know. I'm excited. I pre-ordered my fancy box.
I wish we were a show when Mario and Rabbids leaked, because I knew that shit was real. And everyone's trying to tell me this cannot be real. It's too stupid. And I'm like, that's why it's real. There's no way anybody would make this up. It's too stupid to make up. That's what I was thinking when you were saying about this particular Fire Emblem game leaking. I was like, no, it is real. It has to be real.
No, I believe the part about the Atelier people, because Three Houses had a good chunk of Koei Tecmo working on it. I'm like, okay. So, you spread the love a bit. I get it. But then they're like, you're calling old characters. And this is the franchise where we crossed over with SMT and made it a game about pop stars.
Which was incredible.
It was incredible. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's great. It's so great.
It is, though.
It's just, I love that game.
I gotta play the Switch version. I got it lying around.
I don't have a whole lot to say about Fatal Frame or Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. I don't even know what game in the series this is or whatever, nor do I much care. But have you guys noticed that the announcer, always gets into this hush, serious tone whenever he's talking about an M-rated game? Whenever it's an M-rated game, it's like, the forbidden story begins. He turns real quick. Like, this one's for adults. Like, don't
like he's doing something bad.
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
If Doug Bowser finds out he's going to fire the rest of us, don't tell him that Fatal Frame, the Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, is coming to Nintendo Switch in early 2023.
They even did that for Bayonetta 3. They even put on the M-rated tone. Like, if you noticed, I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. I don't do.
I've never
Fatal
played
Frame.
any of these. All my spoopy months that I've done before and during podcast years, I've never played a Fatal Frame.
You ever play a Deception? Tecmo's Deception?
No.
Oh my god! On PS1, those were my shit. I love playing Deception.
If they show up on Royale with cheese,
I don't know if they hold up now. I mean, I liked them in the 90s, but
I tried them.
But then we had something that, sort of near and dear to my heart.
We gotta cover this at some point, right? When it goes on sale, Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star.
Look, you know me. We always make the jokes between us when Ring Fit came out. Here's how to test your fitness. What level you are. Oh, you should use the Pro Controller, right? So like, that's how I feel it would say to me if I wanted to play Fitness Boxing. Guys, we are not a medium shirt size podcast. We ain't playing fitness anything. I just got to tell you. So not even for Fist of the North Star. Like, I haven't been sated.
Maybe we could be the medium shirt podcast after this.
Oh no, no.
See, I thought that, and I saw that, and I thought we were getting another Muso game, and then they were going into fitness boxer stuff. Like,
we can't.
Okay, sure.
We can't get skinny. It's like when comedians get skinny and they're not funny anymore. You know how that goes. Like, we can't.
That's fair.
Yeah, that never works out. Even athletes sometimes can't get skinny.
I do just like being chonky too.
Yeah, we chonk around here. This is a chonk podcast. Tunic is coming to Switch. I'm surprised that hasn't already been a thing. That seems like the switchiest Switch game there has ever switched. When I first saw it, right? You guys agree? So
yeah, it's already been announced on everything else. I think it's even on Game Pass.
Yeah,
it is.
But so I guess that's the thing. I'm very skeptical of these kind of games, as you guys know. So maybe we should, if it gets cheap, we can do a we can do a book club on it sometimes. And I mean, I'll give it a shot. But now for something I would love to play, but I know will make me enraged, Steve, is that they're remaking like every front mission.
Yeah, they talked about this in back in the February Direct, that they were redoing the first front mission. They're the same people that did Panzer Dragoon, and then it went quiet for a long time. And then they were like, nope, it's coming out in November after all. And we're doing the second one in 2023. And the third one's coming in the future. It's like, guys, just a lot of we went from forever with no SRPGs from Square Enix to all of them from Square. But we talked about this on the show already.
Don't you? Do you remember how the announcer announced it for? Oh, by the way, Front Mission 3 is coming. Okay, bye. Like, and then he's just like,
that's not the only time he does it either. But
no.
we'll get to that in a second.
Exactly. Since Kevin, I know, cares so much about Front Mission, how about Story of Seasons? It's a Wonderful Life, which I'll never get used to.
Sued.
Yeah, excuse me. But it's just funny because you've been talking about Harvest Moon all summer, like
I specifically was talking about this game about a month ago, and I remember saying when I played it on GameCube, I had a little bit of gripes with it because the economy seemed like it was a little bit broken. So I remember this as one of my lesser favorite Harvest Moon experiences. But when I saw this, man, I think they 100% nailed updating that art style and bringing it over. It just, I love the way it looked, and I got a twinge of I probably need to see if that economy is still broken in 2022.
Who knows? You would think they would make those kind of quality of life improvements. Are you the only one who complains about this? I don't know how the Story of Seasons community feels.
I haven't investigated. I just remember like playing it in a year in being like, I have so much fucking money. I don't know what to do with it. I've kind of bought all the shit that I should be buying. That
says it wasn't about that. It was about raising your family over the course of 20 years.
I know.
Yeah. Family, blah, blah. Family schmamly. Give me the money.
So that's why I'd be rich.
Yeah, rich bitch. That's how you support your family. Yeah, I won't get used to the Story of Seasons thing for like quite a while.
It causes a problem for another project we do, doesn't it, Andre?
Maybe a little bit. Look, okay, it's been memed to hell the last week or so. We got to talk about all the farming games, right? Like they just went bananas with these, Kevin. Like there were so many.
I listed all the ones I could find, but in addition to this, there was Fae Farm, Rune Factory 3 with another remake with another one being teased okay by. Mm-hmm. And then Harvestella, which was announced at the Third Party Partners Direct back in June, was getting a demo like now. We can play it right now. So Kevin had a grander point.
Yeah, I think that the runaway success of Stardew Valley had a lot to do with this resurgence. And if Stardew Valley wouldn't have ever happened, I think we would have had a completely different direct. I don't think Story of Seasons coming back would have been near as big of a deal as it. Not that it's taken the world by storm, but it's a thing lately.
It's tough. I mean, this could be the case, but the way I look at it. Like, well, first of all, this isn't really my genre, and it never really has been. So, but it's hard to point just at Stardew Valley because, like, in this current, like, I don't know, zeitgeist of like farming sims or whatever that's coming out, it doesn't feel like a whole lot of them are like Stardew Valley because a lot of them are just existing things, whether it's Rune Factory or Story of Seasons or whatever, they're all happening. Okay, Harvestella is like a new one, right? It just seems like all these things are coming around again. Now, if there was like a bunch of indie games that like all try to be Stardew Valley, I might agree with you more. But I feel like Stardew Valley was the start of a trend that is now completely germinating rather than like Stardew Valley starting something.
Get it? Because we're farming.
Wow. Wow.
Do you? I don't think that if Stardew Valley didn't reinvigorate this, that something like Rune Factory would have made it into a direct. It wouldn't have been on the radar enough to qualify.
I feel like Rune Factory is enough. I mean, it's not like out of control popular, but they have a following, I think. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought like such heavy emphasis on all the farming games coming all of a sudden is maybe I'm wrong.
Kevin, I can agree that this was a farm-heavy direct.
Okay, so also in this direct, I guess we could have talked about in the first part, but why not now? The first Splatfest was announced. What would you bring to a deserted island? Gear, grub, or fun? Are the three teams. You know, as I just said, we are not a medium shirt podcast. You think we just picked grub? Honestly, I picked fun. I'm team fun. I'm kind of team
You
big
already
man on
picked?
this. I picked.
You didn't? I thought we were going to make this as this decision as a group.
Sorry, I already picked fun. I would make it as a
feel
group if
betrayed.
if we would actually get to play Splatfest together, which is impossible on a weekend, then yeah, I'd coordinate with you guys. But sorry, I gotta be team fun.
But just the excitement to get on the show next week and be like, hey, we won the Splatfest, or we lost. Now it's just going to be more fucking bickering about who's offended.
I mean, look,
Splatoon is tearing us apart,
especially when me and Team Gear rip it all apart.
Oh, Team Gear!
And you did Gear? Oh my god!
Oh my god! I didn't know that.
I'm sticking
you know what my
with
gear
grub.
is. All I'm bringing is my smoker, and I'm going to plug it into a rock, and we're going to be smoking coconuts and pineapples. And
oh, hot!
1 minute you guys are sitting over here bonding with me about being fatties, and now I'm abandoned, sitting on my fat island by myself.
You were on Team Jeff Grubb. You're in a good spot. You guys are probably going to win.
I don't think anybody's on Team Jeff Grubb right now.
But see, that's the danger of the direct. And he acknowledged it. Like, look, they change anything they want at any time. So what am I going to do?
Something I do have to bring up about this direct, the way they phrased it felt a little off to me. Like, are we going to the deserted island on purpose? Like, it sounded like we were going there, like, not that we crashed there on a plane, but, you know, we're traveling there on, it had some real, would you rather have $1 million or 1 million subscribers kind of vibes to me, the way they were positing it to me.
It felt like sort of like a reality show, like, you know, like, what's that show? Naked and Afraid or something like that. It felt like you were just going there for like a week or something like that to hang out. It didn't seem like you were marooned forever. So I don't know. That's the way I read it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Naked and Afraid? Did I just make that up? Does anybody?
If it's real, it hasn't been on for a while, I'd imagine.
I swear to God, there's a show called Naked and Afraid. Anyway. So yeah, wow. I didn't expect us to end up on 3 different teams here. That's a shocker. I guess we'll see who wins.
I'm just doing it out of spite now.
Wow. don't say that. You want to be on Team Grub. Don't front. And then after that, they dropped the big bomb, not for Kevin, but for me and Steve, is Octopath Traveler 2. I had always sort of assumed this was in development. Obviously that was based on nothing but faith.
It had to be.
Yeah, why do you say that?
Because they sold so many copies right after the direct. They showed off their little mural that they sold 3 million copies overall. Like, there was always going to be an Octopath Traveler 2.
This got a fist pump from me. It did. A silent fist pump in my laying in bed with my glasses off, like just half asleep trying to watch this direct. I just hope, I got nothing to say. I mean, Octopath Traveler 2, great. All I got to say is, I hope Yasunori Nikishi is back as composer, because the original game's music was fire. So there's no other man for me. Whoa, there's no other man for me. I'm on another team now.
Speaking of people with jobs, I appreciate how all the jobs are the same, but it seems like they're taking different tacks with the stories. Like, I noticed that the merchant is this guy called Particio, and he seems to be this sleazy guy with a vague Northeast accent. I'll be back when I make my money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I might have to start off with him, even though he's going to be underpowered.
You already know the story of you. You shouldn't. I mean, like, come on! Don't you want to see someone else's story?
He's no. I gotta see how it ends. So clearly, I'm going to get eaten by an alligator or something.
Oh my god! Okay, almost said Steve Irwin, but that is not how he died.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. You know what? Okay. I'm feeling self-conscious about this to this day, so I want to say this out loud on the fine time. I don't like how everyone acted like I was a fucking dummy for not realizing the character's name, first letters of the name spelled Octopath in the first game. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't notice, okay?
I still didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, their names spell
I'm finding that
Octopath.
out now.
Yeah, and it's true in this game too. Their first letters of the name spell Octopath.
Someone had to point that out to me the first time too, and I
Yeah.
do appreciate how they did it the second time.
Yeah, but they did it again in this game. So yeah, but no, people are like, "Oh, really? I thought that was so obvious." It's like, "Fuck you." Okay, I'm sorry. Like, go play every Professor Layton without missing a single puzzle. You fucking okay. I'm so dumb compared to you. Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online. They told us a bunch of stuff. Pilot Wing 64. By the way, did anyone notice? And this is totally a me thing to notice. I swear to God, that was running at a higher frame rate. That looked real smooth. I feel like the original game wasn't that smooth.
You're right, Andre. That is a totally you thing for you to notice.
I mean, it looked smooth as tits, unless that thing runs better than I remember. That's a game I have not played since it came out, so I'm interested in that. Pokemon Stadiums, Mario Party. Oh, by the way, I like the way the announcer was. Mario Party. Long pause. Mario Party 2. Mario Party 3. Mario Party 5. He should have just kept going, even though they're not on N64. He should have just kept saying Mario Party 12. Games that don't exist. Like
Mario Party Advance.
Oh God, no. Oh,
Mario Party E.
Oh Lord. Anyway, yeah, here's our next batch of N64. Steve is not happy with these. I don't know why.
I'm not happy with these, but guys, we got to do a little better than the 3 Mario parties. And me and Vin already did a show where we kind of told you why Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 are not going to be very good, because a lot of that hinged on bringing your own Pokemans, and you can't do that here. I've seen a lot of clickbait articles pop up. Oh, can you transfer your Pokemans? Even though there was a big texting on the bottom that says, no, you can't bring your own Pokemon. Playing with the rentals they provide is painful. And I guess you can play the mini games again and again and again. And I guess those things would be fine. But guys, I mean, Japan's getting Harvest Moon 64. Oh, I'm sorry. Story of Seasons 64, I guess, would be what we have to call it.
Bokujo Monogatari 64.
But I mean, there were other N64 games that came out. I mean, the guy, like, send a case of beer to EA so we can get Beetle Adventure Racing. Something. Come on.
I mean, I would like to see the DMA design stuff. Body Harvest is my favorite N64 game. I would love to see that. And what did they make? Silicone titties? What's that game called?
Yeah, Escape from Silicon Valley, something
Something
Valley.
like that.
Space Station Silicon Valley.
Space Station. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made that too, and those games are excellent.
Send Konami a box of cigars for Mystical Ninja. Come on, something else.
You know what's going on here? It's the M-rated games. They don't want to do it because the app is rated teen. That's what I always said about, like, if they were going to do it Nintendo 64 Mini, they're not going to, because that thing's going to be rated mature. You can't have that box without Perfect Dark, without like a Mortal Kombat, without a, you know what I mean? You got to have that stuff. You have to. It's part of the era. If you can't, maybe you can get away with it on the app for quote unquote free. Yes, it's a subscription service, but you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm still going to hang on to my expansion pass subscription because I like the extra DLC we get, and the Sega games have actually been getting pretty good. We just got Elysium Dragoon in that last update. And, you know,
oh God. Yeah, I beat it twice
I can't
already.
wait to play
I'm such a sicko. I beat that game twice already. I am incorrigible. I fucking love that game. Guys, I know I'm prone to hyperbole around here. Everyone with the sound of my voice, that might be the best 16-bit action game there is. I'm dead serious. That shit is incredible. It's one of the best games of all time. If you've never played Elysium Dragoon, you have no excuse now. You've got to.
I spent about an hour with it last weekend, and I have some notes on it of maybe why I disagree, and you can tell me why I'm wrong, but we'll save it for another time.
Okay. I'm open to that. Okay, but they one more thinged us on the N64 stuff. Yeah, it's GoldenEye. Wow. Complete with online multiplayer, except on Xbox. I don't know why. I laughed my ass off when I found out that was the case. Guys, why is that the case? Why doesn't Xbox have that?
Because I think it's not even intentionally online here. It's going to be the same online we have, where you have to hook up with your friend and you tell them, okay, let's play GoldenEye. Let's log into the app at the same time. And then we wait and it connects and then it hiccups.
You make this sound like such a fucking chore instead of so fucking cool. It is awesome that you're allowed to play these games like with people online. I don't know.
It is, but we're not. But it's not going to be fun playing GoldenEye split screen on your HD TV.
It's not fun playing GoldenEye. Period. Like I don't. So whatever.
Listen, I agree with you, and we need to let the kids find that out for themselves.
Yeah, but like
I don't hate it as much as you do, but I don't think it's this golden age thing that's aged so well that everyone thinks it is.
You only think this game is the best if you didn't have a PC. And guess what? I didn't have a PC, and I still didn't. Like, if you had a PC, you were playing like Quake online. You weren't playing fucking GoldenEye. You were playing like a real game. Like, I'm sorry, I know that's insulting, but I don't care. I'm so sick of like the GoldenEye stuff. Like the fact that this has persisted so long. I'm sorry. Like, I don't get it.
Ib and Raincoat. There were some spoopy flavored games, and spoiler alert for the coming month, I'm going to be playing horror adjacent games, and I thought Ib in particular is like, oh man, this is they were showing this off and it's like, this is totally going to be dropped at following this presentation, and I'm going to load it on and I'm going to talk about it in the show after next, and it's going to be cool. No, it's coming out in March, so no, everyone's going to have to wait.
No spoopy time this year.
Not with these games.
You know what spooked the hell out of me though? When Miyamoto came on and talked about Pikmin Bloom for almost like 5 minutes solid, because that was insane. Guys,
the game's been out for a year, but let's show you how to play the game. I don't think you guys know how.
Here's my screen. I forgot what it wasn't a reaction video, but just someone watching it, but like not one of those yelling, screaming things. But he's like, when it's like, now I'll show you my screen. And the guy was like, no, I don't want to see I don't want to see your screen. I don't want to see. Just move on. It's like, that's exactly the reaction all of us had while viewing that. It's just, Kevin, were you just like, it's like, imagine Kevin, they fucking did that and they did not have like a Pikmin for it. He just showed up to show us Pikmin Bloom for like.
No, I get why you guys are off put, but we're missing the fact that this precluded the hands down best part of the entire direct, where he's talking about Pikmin 4 and he's talking about how you can view the game from the ground, and then he just stops and he says, I also made a new t-shirt, and he pops his jacket open and then closes it, and then he just goes on to talk about the gameplay again.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's looking pretty good.
I
had to make a note of that. I think he's been working out. If I look that good when I'm that age, I will be thrilled.
He's probably been in LA doing the Mario movie and getting shit together, right? Like he's probably, you know what I mean? He's getting he's getting in shape. Being in LA just automatically makes you pretty.
Oh, I see.
No, look, Pikmin 4, we obviously know that's a thing. I just love that he's like, now look at this. And it was like 5 seconds of the animated logo and it just cuts back to him. It's like, okay.
I was kind of hoping for, a trailer and not, here's a picture. This isn't Nintendo Power.
I think it's just going to be Pikmin as usual. I can't imagine.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. It's been a decade. I'm not counting Hey Pikmin.
Okay, what's worse, Hey Pikmin or Chibi Robo Ziplash? What's a worse game?
Ziplash.
Ziplash? I think so as well.
Well, Hey Pikmin at least stuck to the concept. Ziplash isn't even a Chibi Robo game.
I think you're going to say Ziplash isn't even a game, which I would have also agreed with.
No, it is.
Did anyone not know? Am I the only one who didn't know Bayonetta 3 was coming out October 28th in time for Hollow fucking Ween? I had no. I feel like, I guess this was announced before because they didn't make a big deal of it in this direct. I did not know that was the date.
They did a weird Twitter direct thing like a month ago where they're like, it's coming out on the 28th. Buy our Bewitching special edition for X amount of dollars. There's only 3 of them, so go do that.
Real quick on Radiant Silvergun. This was in the middle of they dropped this in the middle of a weird sizzle reel. sort of quick hits format that I wasn't sure about. It was weird. It wasn't quite a sizzle reel, but they weren't talking about the games fully. It was, I don't know, it was strangely paced. Secondly, I played this game exactly once. I played it in Vegas in the early 2000s on an arcade, at an arcade off the strip, and I never played it again. I know it's had like Xbox Live Arcade re-releases and stuff like in recent years, but I never played this game again. So I kind of would like to pick this up now that it's just here on Switch. I think it's time.
It's on Steve's radar too, although it had an interesting week where it was pulled off and put back on because of a ratings issue.
What?
Yeah, apparently there, like a day or two in, they had to pull it off the shop because of a ratings dispute, and then they put it back on when.
What was it rated before it went back up?
I don't know.
Well, what good are you?
How could you just ask him that on the air, point blank, and put him on the spot like that, Andre? I mean,
I wouldn't even know what. I never played Radiant Silvergun. I wouldn't know what an appropriate rating was in the first place.
I can't imagine why it would be rated anything other. Like, I can't. It doesn't even feel like an E10 would be appropriate. I don't think there's anything in there that would be. I don't know. Anyway.
Jesus, ask him to name some Splatoon 3 levels.
Jesus Christ, I bet he couldn't either. He's busted my balls about it. Okay, we got to get pissed for a second, or at least I do.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have got Andre riled up before this part.
Yeah, about Tales of Symphonia Remastered, because it is not remastered at all, because it looks exactly like it did 20 years ago. 2, it runs at 30 fucking frames a second. They cut the frame rate in half, and it's not remastered. This is unacceptable. Like, Tales of Vesperia is called Definitive Edition, right? It's like, here's the 360 game, here's all the DLC and stuff that was in it, here's the extra character, go nuts. Here it is. They didn't call it Tales of Vesperia Remastered. That would be ridiculous, even though I still think it should have ran better than it did on Switch. This is embarrassing. And they're probably going to charge, what, like $50, $60 for this? You can't port the shitty version of the game from PS2 and call it remastered. That is not remastered. This game is great, and it deserves so much better than this. This is embarrassing.
I think I saw it for $40, and it's still too much. But I am going to be thankful that they didn't use the PS3 version, where it's not cel-shaded, and they just give you a copy of Dawn of the New World with it.
Oh, yuck. No one needs to have that.
Well, it came with both, and I'm like, I remember that at Comic-Con when my first visits there, because that's when that version came out. I'm like, oh, it just comes with both, huh? I can't just toss it to the side in a dumpster where it belongs.
Yeah, it's terrible. I just cannot believe. I mean, there's nothing else for me to say before I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to kill. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Yeah, it's kind of a fuck off port, but I've never played this game. This is already when I was out on Wii. Kind of came out too late, like 2012. So kind of passed me by. Never played this one. I would like to. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm very grateful for this port.
No, you should. I know it's low hanging fruit, but it's actually been 11 years since that release. And everyone's sitting home like, oh, why is it $60? Like, guys, you can't find a copy of it for Wii right now. Or are you all going to go to the Wii U that you don't own and buy the $20 version?
No, they ain't.
Nintendo knows the game. Come on. They know what they're doing.
I mean...
Also, do you appreciate how they're using Forgotten Land DDD? It's the chubby one with the no neck as opposed to the traditional-ish one.
Isn't that the one from Star Allies, Swole DDD? Or no?
No. Swole DDD is him with the muscles. So they get the one with the one in Forgotten Land is just round penguin head.
Obviously, one last thing at the end here. Legend of Zelda. We have a name, everybody. It's not Breath of the Wild 2, although I think that would have been perfectly fine and kind of expected. Tears of the Kingdom. First of all, before we get to that name, did everyone expect May for the release date? Because I didn't. I thought we were looking at another year. I thought we were looking at Holiday 23.
after we missed last year and this year, no, I figured for sure it was going to be holiday next year.
Kevin, did you expect May, or did you have any?
That's probably what I would have guessed would have been kind of midway through next year.
Okay, yeah, I was taken aback by this. I know this is kind of like a topic for like a Zelda shrine. Remember those on like GeoCities or whatever? The shrine. Here's our Lunar shrine, and it just has a bunch of weird like animated gifs. Yeah, it has a bunch of animated gifs, and then like sign our guest book and join our web ring. Right? It feels like one of those topics, but
do not steal all the gifs we stole.
Tears of the Kingdom. My opinion. That's a great one. I think ever since his current, let's just say since Ocarina of Time, to make it easy, I think it's the best title. Tears of the Kingdom. I kind of love it.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I think I'm not going to shit on it, but I think it needs to grow on me a little bit. I'm going to say something real embarrassing. Maybe like 2 or 3 hours after the direct aired, I seen somebody on Twitter say something about Tears of the Kingdom. And I was like, oh, I must have missed that game. I found it incredibly forgettable as a subtitle for the game.
Wow.
I don't know, but I'm sure it'll get there. It seems a little generic right now.
Kevin, just show us where on the amiibo that Skyward Sword hurt you, because clearly you still have residual feelings from that. I've
tried to completely wipe Skyward Sword from the hard drive.
Oh my god,
we did. Oh, okay. I don't want to take us too far.
No, go ahead.
Off base here. So we usually do this around fall. Me and my wife and the kids will get like a rotisserie chicken and do like box stuffing and box mashed potatoes, and we'll make a little like mock Thanksgiving dinner, just like a cheap and easy one.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that on Sunday night this weekend. And after we did it, the first thing I thought was, I remember the last time we did Thanksgiving dinner, I played fucking shitty Skyward Sword after, and it put me in a bad mood.
You ruined Thanksgiving with Skyward Sword.
Thanksgiving dinner, yeah. Fuck. Thanks, Skyward Sword.
Thanks, Skyward Sword, for ruining your life.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be thankful for anything again.
Oh my god. Well, shit. I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom. I'm into it. What can I say? None of the footage really looked too revealing. Kind of looked like stuff we already saw. So nothing really to say there.
Was by design.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine not knowing anything else. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll see more when we get there. All right. With that, we're gonna take a breaky break and be back. Wow. I promise never to say that again this year. All right, we're back. Something. We took a shower. You know how it goes. So, the other day, did you say 3 days ago, Kevin? One of the
on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday. One of the biggest video game leaks of all time happened, and we were just like, "Yo, this is crazy!" And of course, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 leaking to the internet.
Yeah, on Sunday, originally on GTA forums, Teapot Tuber Hacker posted 90 videos from a test build of GTA 6. And of course, everybody knew about it immediately as soon as they woke up that day. It was later confirmed to be valid by Jason Schreier. And the hacker indicated that they could leak more data soon, GTA 5 and 6 source codes and assets, and a GTA 6 test build. So they said they were looking to negotiate a deal. Which everybody knows about. There was another interesting story floating around that day, and someone claimed they were the hacker selling the source code, and apparently they sold it to somebody for 5 Bitcoin, which on that day was worth about $100,000.
Holy shit! That's not I mean, that seems kind of chintzy, right? 100K? We're talking about GTA fucking 6.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had nothing and I could sell it for 100K, I'd be pretty happy to take it.
I guess so. Yeah, it's all relative. It just seems like something like that seems to be would probably be worth more than that. I guess whatever though.
No, I mean, the story says someone claiming to be the hacker said they had the source code, so he had nothing.
Look,
that he
nobody would
sold
claim
for?
to be Teapot Tube Hacker or whatever his name was. If not,
So Joe Schmo here sold a piece of paper with X's and zeros on it for $100,000. That's pretty good. That's all.
I don't know. Like, this is a wild one. I don't know. It's almost too much to take in. It's like how much? I don't know how much of the footage you guys saw, but it looked extremely last gen. They had been working on this for a long time. Now, I'm not going to comment too much on the graphics since we know that always gets done at the end, really. But and everyone's saying, "Oh, look at these animations," or "Look at these." Like, yeah, it looks like ass, but it's kind of supposed to because it's not done.
Mm-hmm.
So let's lay off. Like, yeah, it looks like shit. Of course, it should look like shit.
Well, not even just the age. I was kind of curious, and I certainly don't know enough to be able to properly speculate on it. But I wonder if a lot of the animations and things they turn off in a testing environment for that sake, anyways, so that even that build might be a lot further along than it looks to the naked eye.
Yeah, because what they're going to send to QA is not nearly what they might be working on. Actual, you know what I mean? Not even that necessarily this is in a playable state because I don't know, right? Who knows? It's always really crazy to me when stuff like this happens to like a big company, and what bigger game could it be than Grand Theft Auto? Only because, like, remember that Nintendo leak that happened a couple years ago when we saw all their prototypes, all their, you know what I mean? And people are still going through that stuff, like wild shit in there. Like, that stuff, I mean, had been compiled for years, right? And the amusing tidbits we got out of there, we already mined. What if, like, last year, like, Tears of the Kingdom leaked or some shit like that? That would be, I can't imagine what magnitude. These are made in the most utmost fucking secrecy. It's just amazing to me that something like this could happen, I guess, is my comment about the whole thing. I just can't believe it. That's all.
I'm interested to see how much impact this has on Rockstar. I imagine at least it's got to be fairly, unincentivizing to the employees to have everything, kind of get shown off in that fashion.
Yeah, it's got to suck. I remember Davide Soliani, the director of the Mario and Rabbids games, he said when it leaked, like when the whole idea leaked and people were like, oh shit. And the game didn't leak, obviously, just the idea of it and what it was going to be, it's called XCOM for kids or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? He was like, the team was not demoralized, but just like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, we kind of wanted to show this at the Ubisoft E3 because if people just hear about it abstractly, it's going to be like, what the fuck? Mario and Rabbids, what the hell are you talking about? Right. And that was everyone's reaction. It worked out great. The game was great. So it didn't matter in the end anyway. But you still want that element of surprise. I think that's what, and the bigger the game, the higher the stakes that gets. You really want to show like a GTA 6 in the best way you possibly can. Nobody's going to forget that they saw this. It doesn't matter how unfair or how unfinished or whatever. People, it's been seen. Right, so that sucks, but
and if it is going to get leaked, Teapot Tuber Hacker could save it for a week when we don't have to have a fucking direct and state of play to talk about on the show next
TGS.
time.
Yeah, I know, right? As Kevin said, we did have a state of play, but why? Remember when they announced it for the same day as the fucking direct? Why would they do that to themselves? That's insane.
I specifically hated this because it seems like a move to do out of desperation, and this is fucking Sony. They don't need to do a move out of desperation, but everybody knows that Nintendo's the big boy of doing the online presentation. So why like force yourself to be compared to them in that manner? I don't know. It got under my skin. I found it actively annoying.
It was annoying. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was annoying. I just thought it was baffling. It just didn't make any sense. Why would you you want to have the most shine you can, Steve?
Yeah, you like that tweet that Sony stuck under Nintendo's? Big day tomorrow. Like they had so much to show. Like, yeah.
It was so weird. I don't know why they turned into a Nintendo reply guy, but
spoiler alert, it was not quite that close.
There was some good stuff though. And we started off real good. But hold on, guys. You smell that? I smell something.
No.
Do you smell that, Steve?
Ah, crap.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back. It smells like... like the new king of graphics on PlayStation 5. It's Tekken 8, baby. Yo! What the fuck? What the fuck? Did you guys see what I saw? Did you guys feel what I felt? Good. It looks incredible.
I didn't feel what you felt.
That shit is fucking crazy.
Andre, I will be happy to watch as many clips as you make of that game, but I just don't care for Tekken.
I mean, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I mean, I admitted on the last show, I got my HD TV and I just looked at Dead or Alive 4 titties for 30 minutes, and the first thing I did in HD. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I know Tekken 8 doesn't have that kind of titillation, but, I'm sure you can find something there. Oh, man, the guys just blew me away. I feel spent. I need a cigarette. I need a hookah smoke. Oh boy. Anyway, I guess until, we see more, but and then I guess we saw a PlayStation VR 2 game real briefly.
Yeah, one of the games was called Demo. Enough said.
Yeah. That's all we got to say about that. And then we had Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Ishii.
Yeah, that's the name now, huh?
Steve was into this, I think. You seem to like this one.
Yeah, I liked it. It looked like fun. I didn't realize it was already a game, but...
I mean, I guess for me, as like a remake, it doesn't make any sense for it to be... Like, this was a PS4 launch game, basically. And of course, it was for PS3. They're just, I guess it's a PS4 port for PS4 launch in Japan. And like, now they're doing a remake that's like PS5 and then PS4. It just looks like a PS4 game, though. Like, look at that geometry, especially that tiger was just kind of like pretty rough. I know it doesn't need to have the best graphics or whatever to be like. I'm just saying, like, as like a remake of something, I think you'd want to kind of push it more than that. But whatever, I guess
it looks like appropriately stupid fun.
Yeah, and then we showed the Harry
Hogwarts
Potter
Legacy is getting a exclusive quest on the PlayStation 5, the Haunted Hogsmeade Shop. And I gotta look, J.K. Rowling, she's a problem. I'm going to put all that aside for a second and just bring up how I thought we were past this whole sticking entire wads of content behind different consoles. I don't like it.
I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. This was something I should have brought up during our postmortem report, and I kind of forgot to. The warfare of like exclusive content on systems, or even like the exclusive marketing, like, how like sometimes like, I don't know, Dragon Ball Fighters or The Division was marketed, if you will, as like an Xbox game, even though it was also on PS4, but all the marketing was Xbox, or like all the marketing for Destiny was like PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of a thing. You couldn't buy exclusivity, but you could buy the marketing, which was like a tactical strategy. We seem to have gotten away from that. And with that, we seem to have gotten away from the exclusive things in this or that version, which Destiny had a lot of. Like, Sony buying Bungie wasn't a surprise because of that kind of stuff, right? I don't know. I feel like this is a tactic that's pretty valid. Does it really suck that much for consumers to be like, oh no, I have the wrong version?
I wonder if we're going to start seeing this happen more often. Just we've had the great developer buyout of the last couple years, so we might start seeing this swinging back. Just kind of everybody grabbing up whatever scraps they can get their hands on.
Yeah, but that was such a thing last time, and we haven't gotten there. But yeah, with the acquisitions, it seems like it could be a thing. They showed a game called Pacific Drive, and as I was watching this, before they showed the name, I was like, this looks like here. This looks like I'm driving past Tahoe through all the trees, getting to the California side, going to like the Bay Area or something. And then as soon as I had that thought, boom, Pacific Drive showed up on the screen. So it was like, okay, I guess I wasn't wrong. What this looks like to me is like, it just looks like a weird surrealist, like, not car action game, Steve, but more like I don't know. It looked like you drove through like alien. Can you describe this better than me? It looked cool. I just don't know what I was
I don't know what I was looking at, but it looked like it would be fun, and I hope I remember it when it lands next year.
One thing I've been looking forward to since the original PlayStation 5 showcase during the Rona, Project Eve, has a name. It is now called Stellar Blade. It's coming out next year. I think people have seen this. It's a Korean developed, I guess you could say, in the character action genre, like a Bayonetta or like or a Devil May Cry, that kind of game. But original character, of course. Some people, including a couple of my friends, thought this project was in trouble because we hadn't been hearing about it. And I was like, nah, come on. There's no way. And then, so I'm glad it resurfaced here and it shut up the haters. I don't know, Steve. You're into fake Korean Bayonetta, or no? You skeptical still?
I'm so close, Andre, but I don't know. Like, maybe it's on sale. Maybe you can sell this to me. Like, you're at my house. Hey, friend, buy this game. Buy the Project Eve, now Stellar Blade.
Look, if that trailer didn't sell you, I don't know what to tell you. It just looks fucking cool. You got a little anime cyberpunk in there, a little bubblegum crisis. We like bubblegum and crisis, right? Kind of gave you that vibe a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it did. I mean, there's just so many games to play. They don't stop making games. Oh, sorry, I don't need an existential crisis right now.
Yeah, this is not what we're here about. We're here for Stellar Blade. Okay.
You know, I kind of wish that they leaned into the Octopath Traveler or Project Triangle Strategy thing and just leaned into that being the name. But I also recognize that Eve is a very overused thing in sci-fi. Like, there's a lot of sci-fi that has a computer called Eve. I'm like, yeah, probably for the best that they came up with a real name.
Also, Triangle Strategy should not be called Triangle Strategy. Remember, I thought there was no way they were going to call it that. And they did.
I'm so glad they just leaned into that.
I thought there was no fucking way. Octopath Traveler, I thought so. Something I don't even remember here. Rise of the Ronin, Steve? What the hell was that? Maybe you could remind me?
Yeah, it's taken place around the turn of the century in Japan, when America showed up, and it's taken over. Well, not taken over, but, trying to ingratiate ourselves with the culture, and this guy's trying to take it back, it looks like. I honestly thought we were getting like turn of the century Dynasty warriors, but it seems like it's going to be more I really don't want to say Breath of the Wildy, but he is gliding around on a whatever. So
that birdwing thing was pretty cool. He jumps off the cliff and spans out his arms, and then the bird wings pop out. That was the only memorable thing I found here.
There's going to be a lot of that now, Andre. The Breath of the Wilds are coming.
We already had what's it called? They bought for $20. Phoenix Immortals Rising and all this other.
They're still coming.
Okay.
Look, I think it could be really cool, but it's also not coming till 2024, and I could be dead by then. Who knows?
Wow. I thought I told you we weren't doing this today.
He really is having an existential crisis now.
I mean, holy shit. Well, this will cure you. Both of you get your dicks out now and talk about God of War Ragnarok while I sit here and fold my arms.
Oh, man.
Well, I got to say, I don't need that DualSense, as cool as it looks. I already have two, and I don't need a third for playing with myself in the corner.
Yeah, you do.
Kevin, that trailer was great. I don't know if I needed to see it, but I like the trailer.
I was already stoked about this game. I thought just the trailer itself, regardless of the content, was just very well cut. The trailer felt cohesive, but they also had like very aesthetically contrasting scenes in there, kind of just like, you know, super dark and then you know, kind of facing into the sun. It just aesthetically looked really cool. So I'm on the edge of my seat, excited for this game now. I was already looking forward to it, but I'm counting down the days.
Yeah, as I keep telling you, you can't get me to play the other God of Wars on the service with cheese, but you know, I'm Ragnarok. Give me Ragnarok in 2 months. I'm waiting. We're almost there.
You would be pretty well served to try if you've never played any of the old God of Wars. They're not bad games. They're just much more surface level than
and I didn't care for
modern God of War
when I tried them at friends' houses.
Fine.
That's it. You guys already put your dicks away. I mean, I thought you were bonding over this.
I'm just keeping mine out for the rest of the night.
Okay, cool. Well, you might it might get a little angry now when we're talking about. I don't know. You seem to like. You're always down on these state of plays. I've made my peace with them, but you seem to like Kevin are a little like I don't know.
So I think when we were talking about Pacific Drive, that was a really good. When that trailer came on, I felt and nothing against the game itself. I thought the game looked fine. That trailer seemed entirely too long for a digital presentation in this format. I think that's what Nintendo does so well, other than talking about Pikmin Bloom for entirely too long. When I look back on that direct, there wasn't even, if I think about what games I actually plan on buying in there wasn't that many, but I was entirely engaged because it's very snappy. The pacing is so well done where they get to the good stuff and then they move on. Obviously, they're not going to just focus on games that anybody in specific just wants to like for longer. Everything is quick paced. I think if you want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of these things, State of Play did the Gran Turismo one, and they came and they said this is for Gran Turismo. Direct does the same thing sometimes, and that's great. But for these, especially when PlayStation is going on Twitter and hyping it up in Nintendo's comments. I mean, it didn't have the format wasn't as engaging because they're showing like fairly long form trailers. And I think that's the misstep here. It's not the games itself. I think just the pacing, if they could tighten it up by quite a bit, I would enjoy those shows a lot more.
You can show a trailer if it's a big deal, like Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like or they ended with the God of War trailer. That's fine. You can show a few trailers, but you got to balance it out. And they don't really have the material to do that or the know-how or the panache. I don't know, but it just,
Well, how long did they spend coming and being like, oh, we're doing this program and you can collect like a digital copy of the fucking PlayStation Move controller to put on a show? Like, I mean, okay, if you're doing that and people want that, fine. But like, this is not the place to come in and start like harping on that at all.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping she was going to say, and we're going to give you points toward future games. Like, yeah, that'll be fun.
No way. No way. Real quick, before we get out of here, just a real quick roundup on TGS, which is not really a roundup, just a couple things I wanted to talk about. And then we played a few different demos that came out around the TGS time that we'll talk about also briefly. But just a couple things I thought were interesting from Tokyo Game Show, if you will. If for some reason you're the one person listening to this who doesn't know what TGS is, which, look, you're a nerd. You got to know it. You're not even allowed to download this if you don't know. They revealed the whole full launch lineup for Street Fighter 6. I'll go through them real quick. So there's 11 returning and 7 new. That's the ratio. 11 returning: Ryu, Ken, Zangief, Dhalsim, E Honda, Blanca, Guile, Cammy, Chun-Li, Juri, DJ. 7 new people in Luke, Kimberly, Jamie, Manon, Marisa, Lily, and JP. So I kept saying from the beginning, I want new people. I want it to be like Street Fighter 3. Throw everyone out, keep Ryu and Ken if you want, and that's it. And of course, they're not going to do that nowadays. There's too much money tied up in having a Zangief and a Dhalsim. They're never going to go completely that wild again. Steve, is this satisfying for you? If and you even cared about there being new people like this, is this a good ratio?
This is honestly fine. I tend to spend a lot of time prancing about with older characters like Ryu and Ken anyway to get a feel for how it feels in relation to older games anyway before trying to venture out with anything new anyway. So this is fine for a start lineup.
I wish it could have been closer to half and half, but it's not too far off. It's just, I get it. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's fine. One more thing before we get to the demos. Hey, Steve, remember on our previous creative endeavor, we went through that list, or I tried to translate the best I could. It took me forever. This list of that Konami put out of games they sent to as a contest to be like, here's a list of games. We want people to make retro revivals. That actually came to fruit. That's not what you say. That actually bore fruit.
It came to fruition.
That's what I meant to do. I mixed up fruition and fruit.
Came to fruit.
It came to fruit. We have a wiener, the director of the La Mulana series, which I've never played a La Mulana, to be fair. He's going to remake the Maze of Gallius. Naturally, this is a MSX adventure game that we didn't get here. I guess there's also a Famicom port, but, Konami made 1 billion games in the year of our Lord, 1987 and 88 and stuff, so this is just one of them.
Reminder for your listeners at home, I was only born in 1987, so...
I mean,
shrug.
I was born in 82, but it's not like I didn't even know what the fuck an MSX was. I mean, how the hell would geez. You're making me out to be like I'm 60 and just import. Oh my God. If I was 60 though, I would have been the guy in the 80s to be like the MSX importer. I would have been that dude.
Everybody would have been at that birthday party.
Oh my God. Well, I wouldn't play Gradius 2 on MSX or whatever, right? Because anyway, Takumi Nakamura, the La Mulana director, he actually acknowledged how obscure this was because he's like, quote, I think most people saw that list and said, Gradius, that's cool. Go on, I like that. So they might be disappointed that Gallius was selected. And he's right. I mean, if you think about going through all the shits, the runners up to this contest were Star Soldier, Parodius, Twinbee, and Puyan. So those are names. I mean, Puyan's a little bit more obscure, but I think a lot more people have heard of that than Gallius. But yeah, it's kind of strange, Steve. But I'm glad we have a resolution to this thing we thought about what, a year ago now?
Yeah, I didn't think we'd have a resolution this soon or at all, really, but
why?
We have one.
Why? Because Konami or
because Konami, but I did play the first La Mulana. I liked it. I still got to play the second one, but I have some faith. I don't really know what a Maze of Gallius is. I'd like to find out. I hope this comes to America.
Look, I feel like at this rate, they're going to bring anything over here, no matter how obscure. I mean, if they're going to do Getsafuma Den, they're going to do anything. So real quick, before we get out of here, TGS had a few demos come out during over the weekend of a few different things. 3 of them being Valkyrie Elysium, Wo Long, Fallen Dynasty, and Star Ocean: The Divine Force. We have some real quick thoughts on all of them, so we're just going to go through them real quick. Steve hates Valkyrie Elysium for reasons I don't understand that he's going to explain to me right now.
I'm getting sick of... I am getting sick of games that start me out on tutorial plateau instead of letting me play the game and then telling me how to play while I'm playing it. I'm getting older, you guys. Let's get this shit started. In this particular case, I'm not even rewarded for following the tutorial right because there's the part where it's tell your souls to do a thing. Okay. And then it says right afterward, you can tell your souls to investigate all sorts of suspicious stuff. Sounds great. 2 seconds after that, there's a cracked boulder. Zelda's senses are going off. Okay. Clearly I need to send my guy to go smash that boulder. That didn't work. Instead, we gotta go do a tutorial, learn about some more shit, and then, hey, you see that boulder over there? Maybe you should go tell that soul to go smash it. It took everything I had to not turn off the demo there.
You have to lock on to the boulder. You have to like, you know what I
No,
mean? As if it's
I
an
did,
enemy.
but it decided to do other things instead of letting me smash the boulder first.
Then you should have just done what it wanted you to do, and you wouldn't have had these problems.
Have respect. Listen, I know I'm I know I'm a Nintendo head, but listen, God of War had more respect for you than that. They had the tutorial at the beginning of the game, but they also, did it while you were doing the beginning of the game. It wasn't like, oh, this is the top of the cabin. Swing your axe around for a few hours. Then we can go start the story of bringing your dead wife to the top of the mountain. Okay.
I am with you there. I like a lot more organically integrated tutorials, especially with a demo. It's a to sit here and kind of eat your peas and carrots before you can do the fucking demo is a little bit much.
If I had to start Red Dead Redemption 2 and we were like, okay, this is the corral yard. This is how you pull out your gun. No. Enough.
This is how you pee for 3 minutes solid without a break. I don't know. Like, I guess at this point, I'm just surprised you would even try to go up to that boulder and do that when it's very clear you're going to do what the game is telling you to do. They're not going to let you do shit. So I'm surprised you even like got the gumption up to go try to do that, because that's not how this is going to work. You should have known that from 5 seconds in. Like, so I would
since
have
I'm
never
not getting
attempted it.
since I'm not getting paid to play Valkyrie Elysium, I don't think I need to put up with all of its bullshit.
Well, guess what? Guess what? It's going to make you if you wanna break that boulder. So, and you should have known that. I don't know. Look, tutorializing aside, it's fucking K. It looks very, I don't know. The frame pacing was like really bad. Did anyone else notice this? It was kind of juddery. Kevin, I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't notice any frame rate issues. I did. I agree that it was kind of drab. I found it just kind of cheap looking.
Yeah.
It plays fine. I like the combat. Everything is snappy and responsive. Like in the world, there's not much going on there. There's some really weird invisible wall things. At one point, there's like a broken and if there's invisible walls, fine, I can deal with it. But you can jump just fine. There's a fucking pillar sitting in the middle of the field, so I thought I'm gonna jump on the pillar. You can jump well higher than the pillar is, but there's like a circular invisible wall around the pillar that just blocks you from jumping there. So just stuff like that. It's got the that 3DS Smash Brothers like black outline around everything, which I don't feel like that really does anything for the art style. I don't know.
ActRaiser,
I didn't hate it.
ActRaiser 2020 or whatever also does that. Like it has that. Oh, that's so disparaging. I can't believe you said that. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so fucking K. This has $20 written all over it for me. I mean, I'll definitely play it for maybe even like 15. I don't know. It's definitely like wait for a sale and I'll enjoy it just fine if it's not too long. Okay. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Look, I don't play these kind of games for a variety of reasons. I guess I never really explained why. I guess if you want to use the term Souls-like, which I don't like at all, I guess that's the term we use nowadays, is because you just kind of do the one thing. Here's all the Byzantine rules for like blocking and stabbing and doing this. And, and that's it. That's every fight, even every grunt, every boss, everything. This is the thing you do. I guess it gets really old for me really fast. Wulong is one of those. It looks more visually interesting because that's the other thing about like the Dark Souls games and like even Elden Ring. I just don't do high fantasy like that. I don't do Lord of the Rings. I don't do, you know what I mean? Skyrim was a very, very hard sell on me for a long time because of that. Because I just don't do Elder Scrolls. That's just not my setting. So if you're like Wolong is like more interesting setting than those, but still, even by the end of the demo, and I don't even know if I was at the end because I was just like, I'm done playing this. I can get pretty bored of that kind of combat really fast. And another thing I don't like in games, and I've talked about this various times, even Steve, the thing I complained about in Resident Evil 7, I really don't fucking like when your character is a piece of shit. I don't feel like it feels good to me to any degree video games are a power fantasy. I know it's not it for everybody, but it's got to be for me. That doesn't mean I want to overpower everybody, but I don't want to like get to grunt number 2 and feel like he can kill me in 3 hits because I didn't look for his glowing red thing or something. That just never feels great to me as like a concept. So I don't know.
Well, I spent 10 minutes on tutorial plateau here, and I feel like the enemies still don't follow the rules because I'm hitting parry, block, and whatever, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it did the thing that I was afraid we were going to see when we were watching Dynasty Warriors movie, and the characters like fly back in the air like, yeah, and then they come back down, and then they smack you in the face, and it's like, who moves like that?
They do, but they don't telegraph.
And then I'm dead, and then I get up, and then I try again. The most satisfaction I had in the demo was finding a mini boss near a flag, where after I died like 7-ish times, I could sneak behind him and knock like half his life bar out, and then just wail on him that way. I'm like, you know what? This is the end of the demo. I don't care. I'm done here. We're done.
Kevin, how did you feel about Wulong?
Yeah, I spent maybe 20 minutes with this, and for the most part, I hated it. I agree with everything you guys both just said. It's also one of those games that makes it more difficult when you suck. I was dying repetitively, and then if you go in and you start sniping off people with arrows, and then you die, your arrows don't come back. You just have less shit.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Aside from everything bad about this, there was a fairly redeeming feature. The create a character was pretty well done, and they have a curliness slider in the mustache menu.
Ooh.
Which I thought was pretty cool. Specifically, they call it curliness, and I like that.
That's awesome. See, I skipped it. I just did the default character, so I didn't care. So, but yeah, that's cool that they have that.
Yeah, Wolong, good job on mustaches.
All right. Mustache Tech, Wolong, excellent. Everything else, Yeah, so if you want to know why we're the show that doesn't talk about like Elden Ring or whatever, this is why. We just don't do that, folks. I mean, sorry, this not for us. But we thought we'd give it a shot. And then me and Steve, real quick, lastly, played Star Ocean, The Divine Force. I have historically hated Star Ocean 3 and 4 because they're obnoxious. I actually spent money on 3 because I bought it on PS2. I thought 2 was really boring. 2 was the first game to ever make me fall asleep while playing it. I dead ass would fall asleep. It was so boring. And 3 was just like really annoying characters. 4, their main character is named Edge Maverick. Enough said.
Fuck yeah.
I swear to God. So like,
when did it come out? 2003?
Like 2008 or something like that. Oh, also on Xbox 360, it was like fucking 4 discs. It did the cardinal sin of having to put in the right disc to go to the right area because not all the areas were on the disc, or they didn't let you go back. If you wanted to go back to a previous area, please put in disc 2. It was insane. Like, anyway.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I'm not a Star Ocean liker. This was actually okay. It looked pretty good. It ran a lot better than Valkyrie Elysium. The character designs, while being that style from that, I cannot remember the guy's name. I wish I could, but it's that very particular style that he does. Steve knows exactly what I'm talking about here. And those are fine. I don't know. The combat felt very quick. Like, in a way, I like that you don't go to a separate battle screen, but they're also like pretty easy, especially when you get like R2D2 or whatever her name is. Becomes kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to break your brain.
No. See, I'm a bit split on this game because, I've never actually played a Star Ocean before, but I'm here for space opera cheese. And,
Me too.
I like that, and I felt like, excuse me, like you said, the combat almost feels easy. And as I was moving further along, like, we need to get to this town. It felt like there was very little incentive to actually do fights. And since this was a demo, I just found it easier to just run past all of the enemies instead of actually fighting them.
There didn't seem
Because
to be
why?
any. There didn't seem to be any gain, and I definitely didn't want to fight them when we got into, as much as I just praised the performance, when you get into that field area with the wheat, oh my god, it takes a fucking nosedive. You had to have even noticed that, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that was awful.
I mean, I have the remake of the first one they made on PSP on Switch. I mean, I'm more inclined to play that now after playing this, but I mean, I'm not so sure about this one in particular, especially since it was opera glasses mode when I was trying to read things like the menu and whatever else they had to try and tell me.
Hey, Steve, can I ask you a question on the air?
We're going to make fun of my glasses again?
No. You want to have a private action with me?
Andre, I told you we can't be doing that shit on the air.
Okay, sorry. I just thought I'd tell everybody about the private actions. Sorry.
It's a private action, not a podcast action.
Okay, sorry.
Boy, do I feel excluded right now.
You can't have
If Kevin downloads the Star Ocean Divine Force demo, he might be able
You
to
guys
join
are private
in, but-
action with me?
Oh, no. Private action is only between 2 characters at a time. We can't have a 3. Yeah.
No private action 3-way. It's not private anymore.
I mean, at least there wasn't in the demo. I mean, maybe if you buy the whole game, there's like other private actions. But what are they called in Xenoblade? Not private actions.
Heart to hearts.
Heart to hearts. Yeah. They're basically like those, but private action made me laugh because I'm a child. So I don't know. I didn't hate this, but I also would never buy this because Star Ocean, I can't trust it. So maybe Royale with cheese one day. Honestly, that's it. We talked a lot of video game. Don't have a whole lot of space or other fuck off times, but we will next time. We promise. That's about it. Find Time Podcast on Twitter. Come and join us there. Look in the description of this podcast to find our names on social media or in the bio of Find Time Podcast on Twitter. See you next time, guys. Bye. I swear to God, to hear the duck. That's a fucking duck. I swear to God, it's a duck. I swear
Well, take a
to
peek out the
fucking-
window.
I'm gonna fucking hold on. It's a fucking duck.
Or.